Today, we are making Ordinary by Alex Warren, and it's gonna sound like this. Ordinary isn't just a hit, it's an emotion. It beautifully captures the kind of love that doesn't need grand gesture to feel magical. It's about finding something divine in the simple, quiet moments with the one you love. And that message clearly touched hearts all over the world. Ordinary climbed on global charts, even hitting #1 on Billboard Global 200. Alex just performed it live at the AMAs, leaving the whole audience emotional and speechless. Produced by Adam, this song has this warm cinematic vibe that wraps around you like a nostalgic, intimate, timeless memory. Every piece of this remake will have that same love and passion that the song radiates. So let's dive into it. Setting the tempo to 112, and we'll kick it off with the drums. So first, I need some storm kick, and I'm using Splice, by the way. We're gonna use this kick by the Oliver. Oliver makes some of the best sample packs. So here's the pattern we have. And now I'm layering this sub kick to get this snappiness. Also, I'm gonna need some huge toms. So let's see what we have. Now this one. Yeah, this is the one we are looking for. We are layering this with the kicks. I just brought it down by 4 dB so that it doesn't dominate over the others. And I also added this tambourine one shot to get that shimmer. It adds to the overall character. And then we have these two super long snares layered together. And this is what we have. And for the chorus, we want to make the jumps huge. That's why I'm adding this massive tom on the kicks. This one. The main rhythm that leads the chorus is this tom percussion. And this is the pattern I'm playing. I'm using the same massive tom, by the way. The change in velocities makes the huge difference, along with this panning that creates the illusion of movement from my left ear to right ear. I also added this snappy snare on top of the snares layer. I also added this white noise splash and this cymbal hit. And all the drums together sounds like this. For the pre-chorus, we have this bass coming from 2 and 3. We are just playing 2 notes, E and D. It's a preset called Overdrive Laser. Then we also have this another bass. It is also coming from the 2 and 3 as well. And in the chorus, the bass line changes into something like this. This is the same 2 and 3 that was in the pre-chorus. And this layer following the new pattern. I'm also adding this sub bass from the Analog Lab. I think this is the free one. The preset called Dark Reese. And for the additional character, I'm adding this layer from the Jupiter. And now all the layers together. And along with the drums, and now for the main melody part, I'm using this ample Ethno ukulele from the Ample Sounds. It sounds almost like the original. To get that natural sound from a virtual instrument, we need that human touch, right? So this is where we put the chords, E minor, and then we have this D major. And for the reference, this is how it was before. And after adjusting the timing, this is what we have. These knobs help us to get that human touch that we are looking for. The timing, separation and velocity brings that dynamics in the playing. I'm just slightly compressing it, adding a little bit delay and this reverb. Then we have this electric guitar lick, goes something like this. I'm playing exactly the same notes the one I was playing in the bass. Followed by we have this strumming guitar, just playing single chords. And now let's move on to the keys and pads part. And we are starting with this mellotron flute. Now adding huge reverb. We're just playing two notes, E and D. And now in the pre-chorus, we have this organ from the mellotron as well. And then we have this angelic choir from the emulator too. By listening to it, it feels like the heaven is opening. In the chorus, we have that same flute from the mellotron. We are playing the same notes like the bass. On top of it, I'm adding another organ layer. And this one is the same one like in the pre-chorus. And now all the layers together sound something like this. And for the piano, I'm using this American grand piano, playing E minor and D major. I'm a huge fan of Arturia. They make amazing plugins. So this is the chords we have in the pre. And for the chorus part, we are playing this pattern. This is the same pattern we are playing all along. The only difference is, instead of playing individual notes, we are playing chorded version. I also added this electric piano for the texture. And lastly, I'm adding this pop grand piano on top of the ukulele main melody. I need some stereo width. Let me add some reverb. In the chorus, I'm playing the same thing, but with the inversion. I'm playing this jazz upright piano model. And now all the keys and pianos along with the guitars together sound something like this. It's amazing, isn't it? And now with the drums on, this is what we have. The mixing is the only thing we have left to do, so let's do it. Let's start with the drums. On the layered kicks and toms channel, I'm adding this soft clipper to trim those bleeding sound. And adding this Pro C2 on the pre-bass to control the peaks of the overall drums. I'm also playing with the volume knob just to get everything glued together. And for the snares, I'm adding this SSL compressor to slightly compress it. And also adding this reverb on the snare. %8 is fine. I'm also adding extra reverb to the overall drums by sending it to this reverb channel. I use FabFilter too much everywhere. On the final drum bass, we have this C6. I'm just gently gluing everything. And this IDX dynamic compressor. And lastly, this custom EQ to balance everything. And now for all the bass layers, first thing I'm gonna do, trim out the extras. I have 4 different layers of basses. Will we have too much low end? That's why I'm just getting rid of those frequencies that I don't want. Like for this bass, I already have the sub bass, so I don't need the sub part. And on the final bus, I'm adding this Decapitator, the best actuator plugin in the game for the drums, vocals, loops, samples, whatever you name. Then I'm doing this side chaining. So whenever the drums hit, the bass gets out of the way. This helps to get that punch in it retained in the drums. And for the ukulele melody, we want warm sound. That's why I'm just cutting the high ends and boosting the low ends a little bit more. And adding extra warmth with this plugin. It is from the Arturia as well. And for these two guitar parts, I'm sending it through an echo board to add some analog chorus to it. And for these pads and organ sounds, I'm just scooping out all the low ends. And one thing specifically I want to do, I want to add this Saturn 2 to this angelic voice layer with some extra presence. I'm also adding this XLF4 to create that movement. And for the pianos, we are not doing much. I'm just adding this panman on that jazz upright piano to create that movement of left and right. It creates that movement and gives that extra rhythm. And on the final instrumental bus, I'm just adding this Saturn 2 for extra saturation and presence. My mastering chain is simple. I have this vitamin preset called Mastering 1 and a Pro Q4, that's it. And now putting everything together, may I present to you Ordinary by Alex Warren. I cannot reach Alex, he must be too busy right now. So I'll have to be the singer for the time being. I'll share with you the vocal chain that I used.
They say the holy waters watered down, and the stars lost its sweet. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day will make the mountain of masterpiece. Oh my, oh my love. I'll take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want to lay me down till we're getting buried. On the edge of your knife, staying drunk on your wine. The angels up in the cloud, a jealous now we found something so out of the ordinary. You're not kissing the crown of the sanctuary. Shadow me with your touch, oh Lord, return me to dust. The angels up in the cloud, a jealous now we found.
So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you got something special from this video, consider subscribing to the channel